I don't care whether you're shooting it, whether you're drinking it. Is that in the will of God for me? There's nothing good for you, and that's the biggest lie that the devil tells you. He makes us think that we are missing out on stuff that is fun. He always shows us the fun part. He always shows us the fun part. He never shows you the consequences. He shows you the person having so much fun with all of this money, but he doesn't show you the broken relationship. He doesn't show you the divorce that it leads to. He doesn't show you folks hitting you up for money all the time, and now you can't even trust your own relatives. He doesn't show you the confusion that's going to happen as a result of the drugs, the addictions that will wind up in your life, how you end up losing your job over this mess, and your car gets repossessed over this, and then your teeth fall out because you own some meth, and you've been trying this and that and the other, and you've been functioning on your job only for a season. He doesn't show you the consequences of sin. He only shows you the pleasure. And there is pleasure in sin for a season. For a season. A season. He just takes a snapshot of the season and then sells season's tickets. The devil is a master deceiver. He's called the great deceiver for a reason. He just shows you so-and-so's husband so they make you think you want him. And if he will cheat with you, he will cheat on you. Oh, see, he doesn't show you that though, because now it's just because he don't have me, and I may. Listen, I was born at night. I wasn't born last night. I mean, there are certain things that you've got to realize. The devil is a liar. He's a deceiver. Anything that looks like it's good, and if it is outside of God, there is no good stuff. There's nothing good for you outside of God. Outside of God. Come on, man. There's some easy money over here. Listen, if it looks good, and if it's outside of God, there is no good, nothing good for you outside of God. That was Eve in the garden. Said, psst, psst, psst. Take a look at this, Eve. Check this out. And she looked at it, and it was good and pleasing to the eye, but he didn't show her that it was going to tear her stomach up. He didn't realize that it was getting ready to cause her to be eaten out of a house and a home, and that they would be put out of a garden, and a curse was going to come on her sons. She didn't realize what she was getting ready to introduce into the humanity, because he never showed her the consequences. He only showed her the pleasure, that this looks good, it smells good, this tastes good. But once it gets down in you, baby, it starts working something that begins to be counterproductive to you. It begins to destroy you from the inside out. It's a trick. It's sweet in your mouth but sour in your belly. Not everything that looks good to you is good for you. Sometimes what you may need may be uglier than homemade sin, but it's good for you. When you understand that there's something that I'm fighting for that is beyond me, that's why you can't quit on your marriage. That's why you don't quit on your children, because you're fighting for something that has a place beyond you. And even if I'm dealing with harsh blows that are coming to me, and harsh treatments and things that are knocking me out and staggering me, and where you're dizzy and you don't even know whether you're coming or going, and you don't even know where you're going to find the strength to be able to get up and do this again tomorrow or next week. And it's a struggle. Every day is a struggle for you. Every week is a struggle for you. And you're wondering, God, can I do this? And he's asking you a question from heaven. Can you stand to be blessed? Can you stand? Can you stand after you've done all? Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Stand therefore with your sword of the Spirit. After you've done everything that you could do, after you've given out, after you've said, Lord, I can't do this anymore, after you said, Jesus, I can't take any more of this. They have destroyed my self-image. Their words, their harshness spoken to me have made me feel like I am worse than a worm, like I've been reduced to dust. Who am I talking to in this place today? But I don't know who it is, but I will say this to you, that if you will stand, God will honor your faithfulness. God will honor your faithfulness. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than you. Somebody else is depending on you to be able to make it through this. Because when you stand through hell and high water, you teach your children, baby, if I didn't give up, I wanted to quit too. Things weren't for me. And I had to stay there with your daddy. I had to stay with your mama. And there was 1,000 times that I wanted to walk out. And when you stand, this fight that you're fighting is not merely your victory. When you win this victory goes to your children. It goes to your grandchildren. You are fighting for the generation. You're fighting for everybody that looks toward you, that believes in you, everybody that you are mentoring, everybody that is witnessing you from afar. This is a victory for them. This is far beyond you. There is deep that is calling unto deep. And the question is, can you stand to be blessed? Are you running from a harsh set of circumstances, from harsh voices, from harsh criticism, from harsh sickness, from harsh circumstances in environments and harsh weather? Are you running because it gets hard? Yes, it will get hard. I can promise you that. It will get hard. Rainy days will come. But when you stand rooted in God, you can have an assurance on the inside of you, whether they're working witchcraft and voodoo, that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. It'll pass. It'll pass. If you are resolved in your spirit that I'm going to get up, can you stand? Can you stand? Can you stand? They can never defeat you as long as you're standing. The one that gets defeated is the one that lays down and stays down. But when you can get back up on your feet, you say to them, I am not defeated. I am not defeated. But I'm fighting for a resolve of something that is deeper in me, that is beyond anything that you can see. You may not understand where my strength comes from, but all of my help, it doesn't come from the hills. My help comes from the Lord. It comes from the Lord. My strength is in him. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When my enemies, even the wicked, came before me, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. And one thing will I say of the Lord. Listen, you've got to have a resolve on the inside of you that, Lord, I'm going to stand with you through this. I'm going to stand to be blessed. I'm going to stand. I'm going to stand after I've done everything that I know to do, after I have believed you, after I've gone through difficulty, after I've dealt with sickness, after I've dealt with financial straits, after I've dealt with relationship ruin, after I've dealt with painstaking issues on my job and hostile environments and attacks in social media. After I've done everything, stand anyway. Because there's something, you got to have a revelation that God's got something bigger for you than the situation that you're currently dealing with. This is not where it ends. All is well in the end, and if all is not well, it's not the end. It's not the end. It is not the end. Don't you quit before you're finished. Don't quit before you're finished. There's a victory on the inside of you. There's something that says that if you stand, I'll deliver this into your life. I'll bless you with a family. I'll be able to give to you. Your dreams will come true if you can stand for this thing. Can you stand to see my goodness in the land of the living? In the land of the living, not when you die and go to glory, but God says, I've got something that I want you to see down here. You might have to fight your way to go through the work. You might have to fight through depression in order to finish your degree, in order to go back to school, in order to get the promotion on your job. You might have to deal with the negative stuff that comes out of other people's mouths. But if you stand, I'm telling you, victory is on the other side of a fight. Victory is on the other side of a fight. The way to get to is that you've got to go through this thing. And if you make a resolve and said, God, I'm going with you all the way. I'm going with you all the way. I'm going to stand so I can be blessed. I'm going to stand. I'm going to stand so that I can be blessed. So that I can be blessed. God told Moses, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Suppose he had laid down and said, Lord, we're doomed now. There's nothing more that we can do. But God gave him a resounding stand. Stand. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. When you've done everything that you could do, stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Trust him. Trust and obey. Pray, trust, obey. Pray, trust, obey. Pray, trust, obey. stand to be blessed, it will take time. The standing is about the process of what you become in the meantime. Can you trust him when you don't have anything? Can you trust him when it looks like you may lose everything that you've got? Can you trust him even when your body is racked with pain, even when you're sick, even when the very instrument that he gave you seems to be infirm? Can you stand? Can you trust him? Can you trust him? Can you trust him? Can you stand to be blessed? The blessing is reserved for those that can stand to be blessed.